The Dating Show, brought to you by olderdatingonline.com.
Just tell me what happened to you in the office out there a few minutes ago.
Right.
You came back in and what happened?
I tried to sit down, but the chair was at the wrong angle.
And your legs were in the air.
And the chair was wheeling across.
You nearly
the
went,
office.
didn't you?
I did. I didn't really want anyone to know about that, Rod.
Okay. Now, in this edition, we're actually looking well down the road because obviously the aim of olderdatingonline.com is to firstly find somebody, then obviously meet them, fall in love, and then years down the road or months down the road to actually move in.
Yes.
Now, moving in with somebody presents even more problems, doesn't it?
It does. Quite a few challenges.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, you are beautiful.
Oh.
You are intelligent. You know where I'm going with this, don't you?
Yes, I
You're
do.
intelligent. You've got a fantastic personality.
That's kind. Thank you.
But you and me could never live together.
Never.
And I'll tell you why. Because having worked with you,
Yes.
you are the messiest person I've ever met.
Yes, and you know what, Rod? Before you come into the office, I really have a good tidy up every day.
You don't. That's tidy.
Yes. Yes.
Right, okay, so let's hear about somebody who can advise on, clutter and living with somebody. So let's hear from Angela, who's a psychologist.
The Dating Show, brought to you by olderdatingonline.com.
So we're talking about cohabitation today. Is that something you found to be personally a positive experience?
Thomas, you're getting personal now. No, I loved this research by Big Yellow Self-Storage because it is actually looking at the impact of cohabitation on a growing group. More and more people are choosing to live together. And so, from my point of view, yes, there are always issues when you decide to live with someone else, especially as the research found, if you move in with someone else, you move in with your stuff. And you can almost get into this kind of belongings war where, one person is space guarding. They don't like to have your stuff scattered everywhere. And you're thinking, how come he or she's not letting me have as much room as they've got? So all these issues can lead to lots of bickering and major arguments, actually.
I mean, is there a hard and fast rule that will help people decide how best to furnish their property?
It's not so much about furnishing property, it's about how you share the space together. I mean, these arguments have led couples to binning on average about £381 worth of prized possessions, things they want to keep, they've got rid of in favour of having a quiet life. And what people don't tend to do when they decide to live together is actually sit down and have a heart-to-heart about how they're going to live together on a practical basis. So how are we going to combine our stuff? What's essential to keep? What's desirable? What would be nice to have? What can we put in storage? And what can we chuck out? I mean, it's a really simple thing to do. And just, combine the list and make some compromises on that.
Is there a risk that, say, you chuck out something that you don't think is important, but it could be important to someone else? You have any emotional issues with that as well?
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things that the research found, that, people admit to accidentally breaking their partner's stuff because they don't like it. So, if you don't have open and honest discussions, you may get rid of something that somebody absolutely loves. Men have, according to the survey, keep a lot of things like games consoles and flat screen TVs, and women have a tendency to, hold on to the teddy bears and the Christmas card collection or the birthday card collection for going back many years. And if you just say, I've had enough of this, I'm just going to ditch it without telling the other person, you're going to encounter all kinds of problems. So it's best to nip it in the bud, isn't it?
Do you think that maybe the age of the cohabitants can make a difference, or is it just the same for everyone?
I think it's actually similar across different age groups. I mean, you can have a lot of stuff when you're much older because you may be downsizing, for instance, and have collected stuff over many years. But if you've been living as a single person and then you move in with somebody else, you may be replicating, chairs, tables, wardrobes, all those kinds of things. And you might want to keep yours and they might not want to ditch theirs. So it doesn't really matter about the age. It's more how you get into that discussion about what needs to stay, what needs to go, and what can go into storage.
So it is all about compromise, basically?
It is, yeah, it is. But you can't compromise if you don't talk about it. So you have to talk about it first and then discuss what you're going to compromise on.
So it's probably best to talk about it before chucking out all your partner's stuff while they're not at home.
I think talk about that first. Don't do it without them knowing. That's naughty.
Well, that's... I like the way she said that, actually.
Rod.
No, go on.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
So you're really tidy, organised and neat, and I'm the opposite. But when we met originally, all those years ago, could you guess that I'm an untidy person?
Well, no, because you're well turned out, you're, attractive and everything, and I'd have no idea. So it does pose the question, when you go on a date with somebody, if they turn up all nice and... attractive, you've no idea what their house is like, but you've got to think about these things, haven't you? Because, that's the long-term goal. So
but I would have guessed that you were tidy, always, as you've said, you're always smart, well-groomed, organised and efficient. And I'd like to point out that though I'm untidy, I'm not unhygienic. I value
No, you're not unhygienic. You don't smell, Debbie.
I value cleanliness highly, but being organised is a struggle for me. So if we were to get together, Rod, we'd need a plan on how to make it work.
You don't smell. You just there's a slight mustiness.
No, there is not.
The Dating Show, brought to you by olderdatingonline.com.